Hey everyone, my name is Debugging and I am working in Unreal more than 10 years, mostly in the gameplay, and I made this tutorial about gameplay ability system and best practices what I have in my experience, and that can help you to make more better and more flexible project using GAS. In this small example project from the third person, we have attributes. We use it gameplay abilities. Like example, I made fully all four activation setup, gameplay effects we added, attributes, and gameplay cues in the end, plus debugs. So hopefully it will be helpful for you. And we can walk, for example, here we have regeneration of stamina at the left. We can press Shift and run with this particle from the gameplay queue, and when I am stop sprinting, we have release of our key binding, and it works in the gameplay ability system, smooth and part in C++, but mostly I explain it in blueprints. Okay, let's start. First of all, I want to speak about architecture of the tutorial because I think it's important. So we can store ability system component where we have our abilities, cooldowns, tags, states, and even much more. And we can store it in the character, but there is an issue will be. It's very easy to work with it, but if your character will be destroyed from the scene, you will destroy also your ability system component, and you will lose tags, states, attributes, gameplay abilities, effects, maybe with the stacks or cooldowns and more, and it will be lost, and this is not cool to extend later your project and to not rework it later. So at the project I made a little bit harder, but I put the ability system component in the player state. In this way, even if our character will be destroyed, we will have still ability system component valid with his cooldowns and all changes and states what we need exactly at the project. Let's create the project. I will click new project here, select third person, and we can create C++, but any blueprint project we can convert easily to C++, so I will do like this, and let's name it GAS tutorial. Let's create. So let's add here first of all the plugin. Compilability. We can restart the project. Okay, let's create our first C++ class in the project. So let's press Tools, New C++ class, All Classes. And I think for the beginning we need to add the attribute set. So attribute set is the C++ class where we can store our float attributes values. It can be, for example, in the games health, mana, stamina, and level, and etc. So those parameters of float are also multiplayer ready, and we can change them from gameplay effects. But during the tutorial, I will explain what is gameplay effects, and we will go step by step about this. So let's create first our attribute set. Attribute set here. And let's click create class.
12 seconds later.
And also we need to add some small changes here at the build. So let's add here the gameplay abilities, then comma play tags, and the last one it will be the gameplay tasks. And that is all what we need here. Now I think we can close our Unreal and let's compile it from C++. Let's make our attribute set here. So we can remove this. And let's include our ability system system component. Down here, let's add public section and constructor for later, default values, and we need to add two important functions. First will be void, it will be per attribute changed, and second post comply effect execute. So this is two important functions. First, it will be called before we will change attribute, and second, post gameplay effect we will call when we change it our attribute. And now we can add our attributes like health and stamina. Let's add them. Attribute data. And let's add here your property. For the property read only category, let's add here health. And in the end, we need to also add a macros for getter setters. It will save our time. This is basic. We have here an error, so for that we need to add the macroses at the top here. This is right, this is right, this is right. And since this is right, how AI agents helps in runtime development. So it looks pretty good here, and let's make the same but with the maximum health. So let's copy and paste this. Let's add max health, because we will have a value what we can change plus or minus this value, but we need to have a maximum. So this is another variable what we need. And let's do pretty the same but with the stamina. Oh no, this is fine. And let's copy paste but with the max stamina. Very nice. And let's jump into our CPP file, and here we need to add some also changes. Let's implement our constructor here. I will just click here, generate, but you can write the same. And here it's differently. We need to write init, and for example init health. So it will be our health for default and max health, stamina and max. Only I will set for now 50 for stamina at the beginning to not have a full. And now we need to make our two functions. So let's jump here and create definition. Let's do the same with this function. So let's add here if attribute yeah, it seems right. AI sometimes helps, but we need to check it every time. Get mouse health min 0. Looks fine. We don't have here evaluated data. So for this we need to add another include not this one, but let's add include gameplay effect extension, this one. And now we are able to have extensions. So let's check if the data attribute is equal get health, this one. Good. Then we will oh wait, set health of mat clump health get mac health, and else if it will be stamina, then set stamina with our stamina setup what we have here. Max stamina, stamina, health, get max health, and if our data attribute is the same what we are looking for. Looks fine, so let's try to close Unreal and let's build and see if we have maybe any errors to solve them. Oh, it successfully compiles and it's good. So now we have attribute set, we will save our data and we can change them from the gameplay effects. But before that, let's finish our C++ setup. We need to compile and then create our player state so we can store our ability system component inside player state. Let's make here a new class and let's find player state and let's create the class. We can rename or put to the folder, but it's a tutorial with the basic setup, so I will make it quicker. Let's add here public and we need one more include here. Ability system interface, and we need to also inherit from system interface to have one important method to get ability system component from our interface, and let's write it. This one, get ability system component. Let's add here attribute set. Attribute set. Let's make it forward declarated here. But we also can here return it. But for that we need only to make it also. So let's create, for example, protected field, and let's add property, but with another parameters. Visible anywhere, blueprint read only, ability is fine, and then ability system component, yes, we also need this. And I think we can do the same copy and my attribute set and create attribute set now. And here we need to change, yeah, like this. So we will have attribute set with our float variables, health and stamina, and we will have a build system component in our player state class. And now we can jump into the CPP file of our player state. Let's create, or do we have here? I think I missed to add the constructor, so let's add a constructor in public here. Let's implement it. And set update frequency to 100. Then we can create a build system component. This replicated true. Mix it. We will fix it. I think it's only include. Let's fix this at the top. So we need to include system component and include the attribute, my attribute set. Now let's create attribute set equal create attribute set, and let's create attribute set here, and we need to also have here our interface. Return the build system component. So when other classes, when they will call this to get a build system component, we will return this. So it looks fine. Let's compile and check if it works or not. Okay. After that, we can create our character because we need to add some small setup inside. Let's create character. In our new created character, we need to add basic setup for it. So let's add include ability system component. Ability system interface. And we need to create now the interface method. And two functions, like process by it's for server and another on reap player state when we will play on the client side. Void we can make these functions. So let's start from our header here. the ability system component. To fix this small issue, we need to add here comma public and inherit the ability system interface also for this class. Now let's create our functions here and also ability system components that we have. But let's add here if statement player. Oh, this is right. Okay, return null pointer. This is a good suggestion. Get ability system component, but we need to init it. Ability checker info and ps this. Now this for server set it up, and let's make it for clients also. If well, such a good suggestions from AI. Init ability player info ps this and this. It looks fine, and let's check how it will work. Now let's build the project and we will see. And I will work now more in blueprints to more easy to understand for everybody. Less code will be, and I will make another setup for our character and player state. So let's press here window, world settings. Let's find our game mode. Inside here, let's open full screen. We have player state. Let's select our player state from C++. Or even better, I think we need to create the player state. Yeah, let's create the blueprint version of the player state, because we can add something easy in blueprint. So let's select here the blueprint version of our player state now. Also, we need to open this and save, but the most important, we need to go into our character class and change parent my character, because we made some C++ changes inside, and now it should work like expected. We have in our player state gameplay ability component. Now we can work with it, but let's start from the basics here at the player state. And the good is it will work from a local machine and for a server also. So another player will know, for example, how much health you have. So at the player state, at the begin play, we can try to change something. But before, let's add the gameplay effect. So I will explain what is. So we need to find play effect, this one, GA test. Let's name it GA gameplay effect test stamina. And here We can modify our attributes and even much more. We can play gameplay cues for visual Niagara effects. We have stacking. We have a lot of different components here what we can add, grant tags, remove tags. Also, we can modify our attributes what we created, for example, stamina. And let's change our stamina. We need to add here base. Let's say we will minus 10 our stamina with this gameplay effect. Let's save, compile, and at the begin play, or maybe let's create another class to see it better visually. So let's add another actor class, BP mina, and let's add inside this or stamina update. Let's make a float value. So I will create the actor which we will overlap and we will add or remove stamina. It will be a good example for a tutorial. So let's make the collision, box collision, for example. Overlap are dynamic, it's fine. Let's make it a little bit bigger, I think. Maybe 50, 50, 50. And when we will collide, begin overlap here. We will print string for now, the just text message to see if a collision is working. So let's put this here, and also let's make the visibility not hidden in the game. So let's press, we have message hello. And let's add and change our stamina here. So if our character will overlap here, for this character we will add a gameplay effect. Get ability system component, apply to self, and let's select our gameplay effect, what we created for stamina. For now it's hard-coded, but it also can be changed from this context and this value, I mean. Let's for now only call our hard-coded one. So we can go inside and change, but let's also add in our player state a great update. Wait on attribute change. So here we can listen our attributes and add callbacks. It's very handy and great place. So we can select our stamina. We will listen attribute stamina here, and on the change plus or minus, we will have here on changed the callback. And let's see. Let's make a print string here, changed, and new value. As you can see, we have 40, but from the beginning, from our attribute set in constructor, we have 50. So now we have 40. And we printed it twice. So the reason why we printed it twice, because as you remember, we have two different functions. Init, pre-execute, let me open the attribute set. We have pre-attribute change, we call once, and post So that's why we can limit it with the if statements, but it's works as expected. We can also create the widget so we can create the widget just to see the visual widget blueprint. Stats, let's name it. Let's add here the canvas panel, progress bars, but we can put them into the border maybe, or better overlay. Let's make overlay and put these two progress bars inside. Let's put it somewhere at the bottom with bottom left anchor. The progress bars, let's say, let's change this also. And we can also change default value for our health 100. And here for stamina, let's take a yellow color and let's put 50. Oh, it's 0.5. And here it will be 1. It works a little bit different with the percentages. Let's also create a function. So canvas panel here looks fine. Anchor also at the bottom. So let's create a function on attribute change. We need maybe to specify which it's maybe health or stamina. But for now, let's change the stamina because we are working with it. So let's add here input float stamina. Which progress bar is this one? Let's take this progress bar, set %, and we need to add a small formula because progress bar works from 0 to 1 and we have from 0 to 100. So we need to divide by 100 and that will be our percentage change in visual stamina. We need also, I forget, to add this widget blueprint. So let's go to the player state here. Let's add somewhere here. Create widget and don't forget to add to the viewport it. And don't forget also to set the blueprint. So let's play. We have stamina. Something is not updating. Because I think we are not calling this. So we need to save our widget to the variable widget blueprint stats. And now when we will have a callback, instead of using print strings, we can now use actual gameplay to take this name of our event from widget, and let's change it here. So when stamina will be updated, now we will see it visually on our widget. As you can see, it's decreasing. We can also make it a little bit bigger. So this is how we can change and add, modify attributes. We have our gameplay effect, which modify or add or remove the stamina. And it works for attributes, and it will work on the multiplayer in the games, so we can add like this. Also very great to have the text inside our characters. So during the gameplay we can have, for example, um, different states when we are sprinting, when we are aiming with the weapon, and when we press this we add this specific tag to our character. And also we can specify by the text the enemies or player, and we can very easy know exactly which tag they are using right now to make very flexible and better gameplay. When, for example, we are aiming and shooting, we can slow down our character movement component. It will be very easily. We can listen also these tags, for example, from player state. We can also wait on gameplay tag removed, or we added the gameplay tag, or when the gameplay tag is removing, we can listen them. Let's create the basic gameplay state, and then we can listen it and update our gameplay. We can create a new gameplay effect, or we can just copy previous one and change setup inside. We can create the gameplay effect here, and we can click here on components. We have a lot of different things here, and we can grant abilities, remove also them. You can check a lot of this in the internet, or you can ask AI. But for this tutorial, I will add grant tags to target actor. We can add the text. We don't have a tag section what I want, so let's create this. Let's make state player, uh, tag for player state. It's helpful information to know later more detail what exactly this tag is doing in the project, and select default. So, and we create it. So we have state player. We can have also from here other subtag here, enemy. We can create for enemy. Let's create this also. So, and another can also have a subtag. Let's create only for player for now. It cannot be instance. It will be infinite then. Because instant, when we change, for example, attributes, we need to make it instant to change only this values float, and that's it. If we have another things, we can select here the duration, infinite, or the duration may be like debuff or buff. So I will use infinite. And let's add this infinite gameplay effect. Oh, I forget. We are getting the tags from other actor, but our ability system component is in the player state. So we need to get ability system component first and then check if ability system component has these tags. This is a fix. So let's see how it will work now. And like previously, we can specify and it works. So in this case, we can specify where this here. So in this case, for example, only for players this will work. If we will have enemy, we can also split it for another types. And it's also good for the gameplay when we are, for example, player and we can crouch, and when we are crouching from another actor or AI actor, we need to know the state of the player, and when the player is crouching, we can play different and make different gameplay depends on this tag. And in old way, we need to cast a specific type. No, is this player or no? If he is crouching, if he is in the air, or etc. Now we don't need to cast to and do this stuff. We just can throw. Is it player and is it crouching right now? And we have specific gameplay feature, and with this it's very good to make a beautiful gameplay, because when you are crouching, enemy can do a specific attack only when you are crouching to hit you at the bottom more. Let's improve this example to make it more flexible and better to play. So our instance actor with the box collision can have a custom value to divide our stamina, or we can add also it. So let's take the gameplay system and let's make spec. Let's select our gameplay effect of stamina. Here let's write assign tag. We can connect our float variable here. Also, let's add something bigger value, -30, to see the difference. And here we need to add the tag. So we need to modify our gameplay effect. Let's open gameplay effect. It's hard-coded -10 right now, but let's set this by color. And we have a new pop-up window for the tag. So we need to have a specific tag for this gameplay effect to be able to change this. Let's make it, I think, in the state here. Player.stamina. Let's create this and let's select this state. Now we can go back to our actor. Let's set this new tag for stamina. And now we can call play gameplay effect with the spec, what we actually created here. Let's connect this from the bottom. And let's test. So we have 50 right now at the middle. And now, as you can see, we minus much more, not 10, it's -30 on our UI. So in this example, we can change dynamic value for different instance because we can make this variable public. So each instance here can have different value, and we can very flexible change and improve it. Even if you want, for example, plus 30 to make, it will also work, and we will have more stamina after colliding with this object. We can also destroy it, play particle, and etc. It will work like expected. This we can assign delete, and let's put this more flexible. Let's now create another example of gameplay effects. So this will be a test region to regenerate our stamina, and it will be not, for example, instant. Let's delete this not needed parts. So has duration. Here, let's say we will have 5-second duration. Here, let's say 0.5 seconds we will have, and let's modify our stamina for 5, I think, for 5 value. Now let's set this stamina to our actor here. Let's for now disconnect this, and let's apply just for easy only this one, just for testing. And let's play and see how it will be. So we have 50% of stamina. Now I am inside, and as you can see, we have regeneration. And also we can divide this like a poison or regen our character. And it's nice and handy how we can work with our gameplay effects and modify different values from it. Also, gameplay effects inside, they have a lot of different changes what we can briefly check. So cancel ability, block, apply, grant text, I will explain it later. Next big topic I want to discuss gameplay abilities. So in gameplay ability system we have abilities, and we need to grant these abilities, and we also can remove them. And we can activate it differently by the tag try to activate ability from input enum in C++, and like an event. But in event we can also send the UObject or actor, and with the input when we press from C++ we have release asynchronous nodes, and it's cool and handy to use it. So I will start from the enums. When we will press print ability, it's just an example and easy to understand. Then on release we will do another parts. So I made some changes in the base C++ parts and inputs just to save the time, but I will show what I changed. So let's jump in first into the C++. Here I added a new enum. It's just an example, it can be better in better place. Another, I added here the map with the gameplay ability, and these abilities we will grant to be able to use them. It can be example, we pick it up glows in the open world game, and these glows will add for us, for example, the passive ability or activate ability, and we can make a fireball or something like this. And I'm passing also shift action because I will press shift and then I will speed up my character in the gameplay ability. So I need to have the input to press and track when I'm pressing this. And to another when the input is pressing and released. So let's jump in the C++ part, what I changed. So here I added change if we have shift action valid to have start and complete trigger, and also two new functions here to send the ID of unit when we are pressing. I will show this in example. For this we also need to add the enhanced input under the module, and seems that's it, except we also added here the enhanced input component in the header file. So let's move to the Unreal. Here we have default third-person mapping. So I added here sprint, and I created just super simple to press input mapping. And here I set this to the left shift. Now in the third person, I need to set our created new variable in the C++, this one, shift action. Let's make it for sprint, and another ability. So we have the array, and here we can say, okay, this enum sprint for ability, but we don't have for now ability. Let's create it. Let's press here and create blueprint, gameplay ability. We need this one, gameplay ability. Let's name it GA sprint, gameplay ability sprint. Now we created it, and let's jump to the third person character and set our new created sprint. Compile, save. Now let's go to the sprint shift our ability. It's always should be the tag. It's very important to have the default ability tag. New state here, ability player, to specify maybe it will be enemy or bosses or player, or maybe player from another fraction like orcs or elves, or etc. So we can specify also this and extend it and make it more flexible later. So um, let's set this to default, and let's add this tag, and it will be ability for player. And after this we also need to, I think, create a sub-level player, and let's name it sprint, and we will select this sprint. So we specified ability, player, and sprint, because for later we can use more, for example, blocking, canceling abilities, activating, and this are very nice setup what we have in compilability system. Here all seems fine. Cost and cooldown, you can add here gameplay effects to make a cost, and if you don't have it will just enter for ability, and cooldown you also can add it and work with it, but it can be in another tutorial. So from here let's add something simple, print string example. Let's just make print string and let's see if it works or not. Let's play. I will press shift. We have GA sprint, but if I will press more sprint, nothing happens. Why? So let's open the sprint, and when we activated this ability, we are inside of it. It's not like a function when we call and it goes to end and return. Abilities works differently, so we need to activate ability, then we need to specify when this ability should end. And when this ability is activate it. We cannot activate it one more time. We cannot right now. So we need to add this ability. So let's end ability and let's try again. I am pressing and we have a lot of print strings. So that's we need to care about every time to end abilities. Let's add here the wait input release. So when we will press the button, hold it, we will have changes, but on release, it will trigger our callback new created one here. So let's say on release, we will say release. Just make something simple to understand. Let's press shift and release. As you can see, it works. So if you are making gameplay ability with input pressing the button when you need to hold and release, this setup with Enum is the best way to make the gameplay abilities. We have more input release, input press, and we can work with this. Let's add here some small changes. From the future, I upgraded this, so I need to get the movement component like this, and then I can set the bigger speed when I'm in the sprint. And when I'm releasing sprint, we are changing the same speed, but for the default value. Let's test how it works. I am normally walks, and let's press shift. My speed is increased, and let's release. And we have our default speed. So it works. Now we have our ability. When we pressed at the beginning activating it, we added the speed maximum bigger. When we release here, we set default value and we have debug message and end of the ability. That's one way how we can activate ability from the Enum and C++ setup. Let's try a different way. So this we can move somewhere here at the top and disconnect. So let's make it a little bit differently how we can make it. So when we are sprinting, we have input. Let's test if it works or not. When it's, for example, started or completed. Let's press. Okay, we have inputs in our character from enhanced input. And let's add the activation of our sprint ability, but in a different way. So we can get ability system component. Then we can try to activate ability, and this is different. So ability can be from the tag or by the class. Let me show you. So here we can set the class, for example, our sprint, or by the tag, because our ability has a unique tag, but it's a tag container, so we need to make literal gameplay tag, and we can specify only one if it's needed. So we can say it's player sprint, and it will work like accepted. And let's try different ways. So let's only start and let's add the debug message. When I'm pressing, you can see it works. I'm starting our ability, but when we start, we add more inputs, more abilities inside. So it's not the best because we need to end of the ability. It's just add a new one. So we can do the same in a different way. When I will press shift, and we are activating our ability by the tag also. And the last option, we can activate a gameplay ability by event. That allows us to send something like actor to the gameplay ability, and then we can take maybe some data from it and play differently. Let's make it differently from event. So let's change our ability. We need to also remove activate ability because it will work differently. Let's go to the settings here. Ability triggers. And for this we need to have also specific name of the event. So let's make a new one. It will be event dot player dot sprint. Let's add comment, save it as the default ini, and let's make it. And let's set this tag. So this specific enum, so this specific tag will so this specific tag will work with this ability event, and we need to here press override and activate ability from event. It's very important to use this. If you will have, for example, activate ability, this one, you are not able to use it, so it will not trigger. So if you have event, be aware to have only this one as the viewport. And we have a lot of data here. Let's connect this and let's try to add send play event to actor. And let's say our event will be sprint because we created sprint and this tag for it. Only on started. Let's connect avatar. Let's try self. And let's try if we will have print string or not. We have print string. We are calling our gameplay ability now from event. But I want to share also how we can add something here. So it's a big structure, and let's say we have target and instigator. We can send some data here. For example, we can select let's say sprint. So optional object sprint. Okay, and let's go to our gameplay ability and let's print the name what we sent. Let's check. As you can see, we from the gameplay event we just sent the object to the gameplay ability, and this ability can take this object and use differently. It can be enum or some data, and the gameplay ability can work differently, depends from this value. So it's very important difference in events when we activating gameplay abilities. Let me add just small changes here. Let's go to the sprint. Let's delete this. We don't need this. And also let's change here trigger ability to none. And let's add back activate ability. And let's connect this sprint feature. Let's change here back what we had. And let's try if we will have, yeah, it works. So inside GA ability, I want to add the new gameplay effect for this, for the states. I think it's super important. Every time when we have activated ability, most of the times where I worked, we add the gameplay effect to know, okay, I'm sprinting right now. And this state can change a lot of animation and another parts from AI bots or on level something when we have the some specific types. And let's create the gameplay effect. I think I can just copy this. Sprint, sprint state. Let's name this. Let's see what we have here. State player. We can add a sub class of text. So state player sprinting. Let's add and let's select. And let's go to our gameplay effect. When we press it here, let's effect to owner. Let's add this. And in the end, when we released, let's say remove gameplay effect with handle. We will not see for now the difference, so we need to add a console command to see. Let's press tilde key and show debug ability system. Let's press this, and what we have here, as you can see, we have of the text state player, which we at the begin play add to know this is player, this is enemy, archer, this is knight, this is paladin or another types. So we can specify, and each can know about different AI bots or players, bosses, specific types easily from this text and what they're doing. Maybe like they can have ability when they're aiming, and this bot can have a stun. So when it stuns, it will cancel all activated abilities and it will block during the stun to activate ability any. So these specifiers we can use and add from gameplay effects the text, and it will cancel or block other abilities or features in the project. So it's a very flexible system. Let's add different. So let's add. I will play again. So let's plus show ability system, and now let's set. Okay, this is our gameplay effect. When I press tilde and the next category of ability system debug, We can see now the owned gameplay effects. Let's press again. It's about abilities. We have ability sprint. When I pressed, you can see it's activated. When I release, it's deactivated, but it's brown. That means we grant this ability in C++. It's also possible to make in blueprints. And let's make next category. Next category is our attributes. We can see them here, and it's super helpful to see and debug gameplay ability system with this command. Let me show briefly how we can add and remove in blueprints abilities so we can avoid some C++ parts. Let's take ability system component and let's write ability, and we can give ability clear, and let's test how it will be. So let's remove ability what we had with the sprint, but maybe only like this. And let's add delay for 5 seconds, and let's give our new sprint ability. So let's play tilde key ability system next, and we don't have ability, and now we have, and I can have this ability right now. So we can give ability, and also after, for example, delay 3 seconds, let's delete this ability. And let's test how it will be. Oh, this is abilities, okay. We have sprint, and we removed sprint. Also, one helpful we can get, so we can get all abilities with array, then we can for each loop this array, and from this we can get display name, and we can filter if this name is equal what the name we want, and we can specify this easily. And we can change or remove different abilities from this part of check from abilities. So we can also grant abilities in the blueprints. It's not hard to make it. Let's give it back here to our sprint. We can delete it. Oh, play tag we need, so we don't need those only. The last part, it's the gameplay queue. It's a visual part for particles, a Niagara system, or we can play sound, and it can be a static or actor, and etc. I will make something simple to just show as a sprint. Let's right click here, create class. Let's search for actor. Let's name it gameplay queue sprinting. It's very important here. I added already the gameplay queue, and we need to select sprinting. So by this tag it will be called. So it's very important to have a specific gameplay queue tag. Another, let's add here the Niagara. particle. I don't know, we have this particle. Let's add. And let's add here when we are sprinting. And this gameplay effect, let's add player sprinting. And let's see. I know why it's not working. So I restarted Unreal and I play it again. Now when I'm pressing shift and I'm running, I have this bubble particle, and when I release, it disappears. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful for you. If it is, please press like for my work and it will motivate me to create more content. And thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.